Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 between RIT and CMU, that is Rochester Institute of Technology and Carnegie Mellon University. This game is happening between Alexander Lee, aka BrokenAxle, playing as the Blue Zerg. And on the other side of the map, if my computer decides to continue running, we have iRunOnDunkin, aka Richard Ruger, playing as the Red Protoss. And I'm not sure if that's actually an advertisement, if he's getting paid to do that, or if he just really likes Dunkin' Donuts. Personally, I am a huge fan of Dunkin' Donuts. They're just so tasty. I always get the raspberry cream filling, not raspberry cream, the raspberry filled donut, and then one or two glazed just for the flavor. So we'll go ahead and follow this probe as he wanders his way around the map. And BrokenAxle, I really hope his car can continue to run. I have had a BrokenAxle before, and it is a pain in the buttocks to repair. So I certainly hope that he knows what he's doing with that BrokenAxle. I just trying to make as much corny conversation as possible, and really I think I'm doing a fantastic job. The probe now scouting up into the main. There is an overlord. He sees the overlord. The probe actually did not check. I don't think it had vision. Oh, well, maybe. So, it looks like we are going to see a hatch first, unless this drone is just going to scout. And no, iRunOnDunkin, or BrokenAxle, actually just decides to go for the pool first, play it safe, not going to go for the hatch first on this two-player map, especially when he already sees the probe block going down. And there is a forward pylon. I don't think I called that out, but that forward pylon will allow for a quick forge right there, followed by a nexus. So if there was a hatch first, we could have seen some very cheesy pylon wall-in drop, followed by one or two cannons, which is such a pain in the butt. But I suppose you can kind of deal with it. So it does look like BrokenAxle now moving down to try to take the natural, but the probe is on patrol, which will allow it to block it for quite some time. And pulling back a little bit far, BrokenAxle is going to get the hatchery. iRunOnDunkin pulling back just a little bit too far and doing the exact same thing. BrokenAxle just denying that nexus. iRunOnDunkin is going to drop the nexus. No, he's not. So this probe actually looks like it's taken on the drone, even having to pull a second drone, and BrokenAxle does run away. It does look like he wants to keep himself alive, just scouting to make sure he sees the nexus and immediately sees the gateway, so he knows there's going to be a few seconds before there is a cannon. Meanwhile, there is this probe in the back wall over here. I suppose there was an extractor trick that went on to allow that queen and zergling to be built. That's kind of interesting. And an overlord going down, so I guess at 16 supply, make a queen, then extractor trick to get that pair of zerglings out. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but that's very cool. And it looks like the zerglings are going to go straight for the probe. It's a question of whether or not they will be able to find it. The probe is actually patrolling just to deny the third, but there is no drone on the way across the map yet. We don't see a gas being taken for BrokenAxle, so he probably will be taking that fast third, going to be going for some sort of roach ling play, and this probe actually taking a lot of damage from these zerglings. Let's see if it was able to get away. I don't think it will be able to. Oh, there it goes. It does go down. So we do have a cannon. Chrono boost out the early zealot. Standard play from both players. No gas is being taken yet. Immediately as I say that, iRunOnDunkin takes his gas. This hatchery is still just trying to chill out and do whatever hatcheries do, aka poop creep. The queen heading down now to spawn larva. Let's take a look at the income tab. At the workers, we can see there was actually a third base down just now for BrokenAxle, so he is going to be going for some very early macro play. As far as workers, BrokenAxle is at 22 to his opponent iRunOnDunkin's 20. So with the two Nexi, however, he will be able to chrono boost out a very healthy number of probes if he's going to go for that. And actually, it does look like he's chrono boosting out zealots. So I think we are going to be seeing, I believe it was Naniwa who made this popularized, just hit with 4 or 5 zealots around the 7 or 8 minute mark, and most Zergs are not prepared because they'll have been greedy, saturating their third. If anything, they'll only have a couple of zerglings, and zealots just demolish zerglings in combat. So we do see 4 zealots now, and this zergling, I don't know if he actually saw, but he's about to. So let's see how BrokenAxle responds, what he's going to build. He did just spend a whole lot of larva on drones that and now is immediately going into zerglings, just like I said. So he is going to be going for that defensive hold at the zerglings. However, without the creep spread, the queen will not be able to get there very quickly. So these zerglings are going to have to try to defend against those Zealots without engaging until they do get the backup support from the other Zerglings. A very, very large number of Zerglings now in production. So 6 were just made, and now 18 are in production. So this is exactly what iRunOnDunkin wanted. He wanted to get that larva spendage. He wanted to get that overreaction from BrokenAxle, and that's exactly what's happening. These Zealots are getting surrounded by the Zerglings, but they did complete their purpose. 400 are another Zealot, and another Zealot, 500 minerals. Oh, these Zealots are actually still alive. They're doing a fantastic job of taking out these Zerglings. And there is no +1, there's no upgrades yet. The Queen actually getting dangerously low, but these Zealots are going to be thwarted. However, they did spend so much of the Zerg's larva and prevented droning. We take a look at the units tab, 37 drones to 36, whereas normally the Zerg would be around 45 to 50 without having to spend that. So there was a little bit of overreaction going down, and we do have double Stargate from iRunOnDunkin. Meanwhile, BrokenAxle, he does not have vision. He has not scattered into the main yet. However, the Overlord is very, very close. We do see a Roach Warren and Evo Chamber. There's the Evo Chamber and the Roach Warren. So very, very standard Zergy play going on. These Zerglings running around just trying to take map control, scout a little bit, but BrokenAxle really needs to send that Overlord in and see those Void Rays. If he gets caught out of position, or excuse me, not Void Rays, Stargates, if he gets caught out of position by Void Rays and Phoenix, he can really be in a bad spot. So we do see one Void Ray is going down, and Void Rays are expensive. Wow, so let's see if we do see a second Void Ray. Yes, there is, so double Void Ray. So very, very early pressure, just trying to catch BrokenAxle off. Oh, but BrokenAxle is prepared. He has the Evo Chamber. He is creating those Spore Crawlers. Let's see, there is one forward at the natural, one at the third. Let's see if there's gonna be a one going down at the main as well. Probably pretty soon. We do also have +1 range attack for the Roaches coming out. An Overseer is in production. And let's see where that Overseer is. And uh-oh, there goes the first Void Ray going straight for the third. Remember, one Queen versus one Void Ray. The Queen loses. So this Void Ray could really put on a whole lot of pressure. Some excellent creep spread going on right now. I just want to note, look at this creep spread going all the way across, connecting the main to the natural. And I know that was very, very quick. I just want to follow this Void Ray. But I also wanted to talk about other things. It's really kind of a torn situation. So now the Void Rays are on the creep. BrokenAxle does know that there is this going on. He has pulled his second Queen. He does have that Spore Crawler there for defense and an Overseer just in case there is going to be some shenanigan Dark Templar play. Another Void Ray going out, so it looks like it's just Void Ray, 3 Void Ray Phoenix, which can be very, very dangerous. I'm not sure if we just had a little bit of a skirmish there. It doesn't look like any damage was done. There is a back Spine Crawler that does look like it's going to be picked off if this Void Ray does manage to charge, and the Queens are now getting in on that Void Ray. That Void Ray needs to be careful. It's getting very, very low, and with literally 1 HP, it survives, but another Void Ray coming in gets caught out of position. The Spore Crawler got up and walked away, whereas the Queens and Spore Crawler in the front did kill that second or third Void Ray. So very, very, very close. Not so great control from iRunOnDunkin. He really could have done a lot more, but it just didn't quite work out for him. And as we see, he did drop a Robo. Let's see if I can find that Robo. There's the Robo. So we see Robotics Bay also going down for the Colossi Switch and some Gateways now in production. So as far as income, it does look like BrokenAxle is ahead 68 to 58. If we look at supply, that's where the real numbers are. Just that Roaches fill up so much supply so quickly, 146 to iRunOnDunkin's 82. So a full 60 supply ahead for BrokenAxle. He's definitely going to be able to put on some harass with that. And we do see a Void Ray now scouting around, just clearing out some Overlords, but unfortunately for him, there are no Overlords floating around the map. We do have a Hydralisk Den, so it does look like BrokenAxle is going to be going for that Roach Hydra timing. He already does have +1 for the Roaches, which will allow them to do a lot of damage to the Protoss armored army, but he does need to focus on taking out the Colossi first, because Colossi against Hydra, and I've said this multiple times, is terrible. Colossi, I believe, do bonus damage against light, and Hydras just take so much damage, and uh-oh, it does look like BrokenAxle is going to try to push in a little bit, moving in with the Roaches, seeing if he can get any damage down. The Void Rays are going to be able to help defend against this, because the Roaches can do nothing but curse at the skies, so it does look like BrokenAxle is just going to push forward a little bit. These two Immortals are going to push him away, and uh-oh, BrokenAxle engaging. Looks like he wants to take out those Immortals. and one Immortal does go down. The Roaches continue to press forward. Some excellent force field segmenting the Zerg army, allowing them to be whittled down by the Immortal. Excellent control here from iRunOnDunkin. Here we now see his forte as he drops those force fields. That was really great control, but already 18 Roaches in production. That 3-base Zerg already massing up. We already have Infestors out. I believe they have pathogen glands, which does allow them to get that fungal right as they pop. Yes, they do already have pathogen glands, so that's going to be very helpful. We did have a Spire drop down for BrokenAxle, but he doesn't. Oh, it is still in production, but no Corruptors yet. Let's see if he goes straight into Corruptors. No, instead deciding to get +2 and +1 Carapace along with a Macro Hatch. So currently adding Zerglings now. This is a very cool composition. This is very, I'm not going to say it. You guys know what I was going to say. It almost slipped out of me. It is a Zergling Roach Infestor composition with Corruptor support. And we do have +1 flyer attack for the Corruptors, which are going to be able to focus down those Colossi. And we do have 1, 2, 3 Colossi, and I believe 2 Robos. There's one. Yes, and there is a second. So double Colossi being chronoed out at the same time with Void Rays being added. This is a very scary composition. This is what people used to do in the old school beta. Just mass Colossi. Void Ray, because Void Rays, they do instant damage when they attack, which is so high, and the Colossi are so powerful against most ground compositions, so we really need to see more Corruptors coming out of BrokenAxle. Already at 200 supply. I'd like to see him throw these Roaches away to clear up supply. Let's see if he can get any damage done. He does go into the front, manages to pick off a few Stalkers, forcing iRunOnDunkin to back up with his Zealot Colossi army. A lot of those Stalkers are going down. These Roaches are doing lots of damage. Here come the Colossi. 5 Colossi, and they do have that range. An excellent 2 force fields going down, allowing them to be picked off by this Zealot Void Ray Colossi composition. We do have 8 more Corruptors. This is excellent. I highly approve of this. +2 range attack is about to finish, along with +1 flyer attack. So more and more Colossi and in production. Zealots now being warped in to supplement the army. This is a really scary push for BrokenAxle, coming at around the 16-minute mark. A huge force field catches the Void Rays and the Immortal out of position. The Immortal is really what's going to do the most damage besides the Colossi to those Roaches, and the Corruptors need to be careful. They need to use their corruption ability on the Void Rays. Great force fields, forcing the Roaches to engage the Zealots and take damage from the Colossi, but the Void Rays are now fully charged up. They are going to obliterate the Corruptors, and now the Corruptor reinforcements do get in. They are going to take out that Void Ray, and these Colossi are completely undefended. They are taking tons and tons of damage. We did have a big Stalker warp in, so BrokenAxle needs to be careful with his Roaches. These Corruptors are doing so much damage to the Colossi, just getting in, seeing if they can do any more. One more Colossi does go down. The Roaches now engaging the undefended Stalkers. iRunOnDunkin should have backed up with his Stalker support, and iRunOnDunkin's army is just falling to pieces. There it is on the ground. Another Colossi misrallied, gets picked off almost instantly, and here come the terrifying Zergling reinforcements with the Roaches and Corruptors now pushing into the natural. BrokenAxle does look like he will be able to do a lot of damage with this. He is trying to go down for that Forge, eliminate that +1 armor. There is +1 ground attack finished, but these Roaches are just going to be able to clean up any reinforcements from iRunOnDunkin. We do see a couple Zealots now running down, going to see if they can take out some Roaches, and these Zealots are going to be very effective, but I don't know if it'll be enough. We did have the third get canceled by Zerglings from BrokenAxle, and these Roaches are just falling very quickly. I don't agree with continuing to attack with such small numbers. BrokenAxle really needs to mass up. He does have that economics lead, and here we come. Here we are. Now we have these Roaches and Corruptors streaming across the map. They do need to be grouped up together. If they continue to funnel in to the Protoss army, they are going to take a lot of damage, and now it does, here go the Corruptors. They are going to take out that Colossi so quickly, and the Roaches are just walking into the natural, cleaning up iRunOnDunkin's army, doing so much damage. If he can take down that Nexus, it will be over, because the main, there was a Zergling run by, the main is completely mined out. These Zerglings are now just attacking probes and Stalkers and gateways, and another Colossi is about to fall. Those Corruptors were an excellent tech choice from BrokenAxle. He just knew what his opponent was doing. He knew how to counter it, and we see more and more Roaches and Zerglings streaming across the map to continue mopping up. It is currently 200 supply to 20 and only 1G. Game says iRunOnDunkin. Not good game, not bad game, but game. So it does look like game number 2 does go to BrokenAxle, aka Alexander Lee from Carnegie Mellon University, tying the series at 1-1. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in game number 3.